that. Hello, friends. Happy Friday. I hope everyone's doing well. Your Friday is going well and your weekend is off to a great start. I've been looking at the chat for the past few minutes and I saw, we'll say hello to everybody, but Mushroom Leg is stuck at work. So, buddy, this is for you.
CaneRod much for two. For pipe love is good place for you if you like pipes and chatting, and especially if you being merry and is hotter than ginger. CaneRod.
Sorry, Mushroom Leg's the only guy that likes it and he's stuck at work. I had to do it. How is everyone doing? So I saw Blake's Pipes was in early. Good to see you, Blake. Ron Hardcrackers, Flint Hill Briar, Mushroom Leg, of course. David Bookshop, having his 320 Rossi with Haunted Bookshop. Sounds good. Piper on the 45, good evening. Bona Piper, happy Friday. Rick Spence, greetings from Oklahoma City. Good to see you, Rick. Michael Case, Tumbler Coke Zero, and his Dudley Do-Right class. Very cool, Michael. I felt that you needed it, Mushroom Leg. I hope it lifted you up a bit there. Big Country Briar, good to see you, Cole. And Chris Weber, hello, good to see you, buddy. Friday. It's good to be Friday. It's good to be here on a Friday, I should say. I'm not Friday. But if I was, I'd want to be Joe Friday. It was cool. Yeah. Gary Edminster, Peterson House Pipe with the usual and a Yingling. Very nice, Gary. Very nice. Pondering with Pepe's Pipes. How you doing tonight, Pepe? And Wes B28. Hello. Founding Fathers in his Missouri Meerschaum Elf Cobbett. Of course, Christian. Not even close. I agree with you 100%. It was a fast week. I guess probably because Monday was a holiday, so it seemed short, but really flew by. I had a 4-day weekend because I took off on Friday and had a list of 12 things. I did one thing. All right, one thing crossed off the list, but such is life. Went back to work, had a list of things I needed to do, and I probably crossed 2 off the list. But they pay me to do that. And while I'm thinking of it, I might as well get my drink going tonight. What's Pepe saying here? Good. HBU. Montana's doing great. Oh, okay. Montana's doing great. Glad to hear that. Smoke's coming in from the wildfires. Oh, no. Hope that doesn't become a problem for you there, Pepe. Palm, hubba bubba, buddy. Good to see you. So, drink. Yes, that's what I was starting to talk about. Tonight we're going to have another one of these Founders Dirty Bastards, which is a fine beer. Something a little bit heavier than last week's Miller. But I like the Miller. Get into my glass. There we go. Yeah, look at that. So for those of you that don't remember, like me, this is a Scotch-style ale with rich caramel notes and a malty sweetness. And it is quite good. I enjoyed this. It's part of the Venture series from Founders. So there you have it. Oh, they still make Miller beer. Absolutely, Boom. It often is double-sided, Christian. Those are bad days. Yeah. my monitor just did the thing where it gets all the lines on it. So hopefully we'll survive. Flint Hill Briar is having the Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Nice. So Pepe says that Mrs. Pepe wants to ask if I like holopikis, stuffed peppers, pigs in a blanket. My grandfather was born in Branchdale. So I do like, so stuffed cabbage is something my wife's family is very big on, and they're Slovak, and I do enjoy that. Pigs in a blanket, not so bad. I mean, if pigs in a blanket are the little hot dogs wrapped in dough, I don't really like those that much, but I do like the stuffed peppers, especially if it's the hot banana peppers with the stuffing. Those can be quite good. That's not a bad idea, Michael. I do have some Scottish mixture, but I'm not going to get it because it's way up on the shelf up there, and I'm lazy. Cole has an Oliva, Connecticut, with a couple ounces of Chattanooga high malt bourbon, meat, and a Diet Dr. Pepper. Is that bourbon and meat, or is the meat treated with bourbon, or is the meat a type of bourbon? And why do I ask these questions? Pepe's drinking Sam Smith chocolate stout with Prince Albert. And Palm is drinking Evan Williams whiskey. All good stuff. Yes, Oktoberfest is good stuff. And Flint Hill loves Mars and beers. I'm sure I've had them, I just don't remember. But not many beers I don't like, except for the hoppy IPAs. You still can't get Yuengling out west? I thought it was nationwide now, Pepe. Oh, neat. Okay. Cole, that makes so much more sense. I really wasn't teasing you there. I read meat and thought you were talking about. Oh well. 17-year-old jar of McBaron vanilla cream. Wow. And it was fantastic. Well, good for you, Paul. So all Oktoberfest beers are Marzens? Okay. Well, then I like them too. Oklahoma State's brewing their own beer. Wow. Doug Owen, how you doing, Doug? Okay, Pepe. So yeah, if that's the case, I would probably enjoy that. The weird thing is I love the food that my wife's family makes. A lot of cabbage, sauerkraut. They make something called halushki, which is basically cabbage and onions and noodles and way too much butter. And what's the other? Oh, and they make fresh mushroom soup from wild mushrooms. At least they used to when my father-in-law was younger and would go out and pick them. And I love all that food. And my wife hates it, so we never have that. The only time I get to eat it is when I visit them. Ron, I gotta say the Yuengling Oktoberfest, I've had it and it's okay. Honestly, most of I really like the Yuengling Lager. That Hershey Stout was good. The other ones like the Porter, they're black and tan. They're okay. I'm not trying to say there's anything wrong with them, but at the same time, they're not. I don't think they're as good as the Yuengling Lager. Oh, Bonapiper, did you out geek me? Gotta put my glasses on to make sure I'm reading this right. Anadtech? I don't know what you're referring to there, Christian. I think you've outgeeked me. But I'm sure as soon as I figure it out, I'll be sad. You can still finish your summer shandies, Pepe. Where was I? Oh, I went to Costco last weekend, and they've got all the Christmas decorations out. I think no, this is wrong. Oh, really, Doug? That's big news. So Den Tobacco is done. Wow, they made some wonderful wonderful blends. I wasn't a big fan of Hamburg Wehrmeister, and the only thing I really liked from them, I mean, they had good quality tobacco, but they were one of the few companies that made aromatics I could stand. Uh, Not that I smoke them that often, but if I needed to smoke an aromatic, I would probably try to get one of theirs. Bach beer. Yeah, Michael, I've heard of that. Oh yeah, Polish Fest is a big deal, Cole. Yeah. Flint Hill just discovered Da Vinci. Sometimes you guys make me feel very old. Leonardo? Oh, they made salty dogs, Christian. Yeah. That is a loss. I really like salty dogs. Hershey didn't renew. Interesting. That's interesting, Ron. Let's move Piper. Hello, Peter. Peter's got his Friday 7 Ellie out with Haunted Bookshop. Did I say that I've got the Matches Memorial Friday 7 Ellie with Haunted Bookshop? I hope I did, as is the tradition here. Oh, so Da Vinci was a tobacco blended by Dan. Okay, I don't know their whole line. I just know a couple of their arrows. Welsh Piper. Thank you for listening in, buddy. It's great to see you. You have a great weekend too. 1940 snare drum. Very cool, Pepe. Oh, Doug. Well, our condolences to Salty. That's a big deal. Sailor, good to have you, buddy. Gin martini and a punch raw chop. Very nice. Do I ever ash my pipe? And please don't study my smoking style, Mushroom Leg. You might pick up bad habits. What do you mean by ash? Do you mean like take ash off the top? If so, no, I think that's a terrible thing to do. Phil Rivera, good to see you, Phil. I will if I'm down at the bottom of the bowl, Mushroom Leg, I'll stir it just to. Sometimes there's a little bit of tobacco that gets trapped, and I loosen that up a little bit just to get a few more puffs out of it. But mostly I just tamp it, and I never dump it when I smoke because that layer of ash actually helps the burn. You want to keep that, in my humble opinion. and the opinion of generations and generations of pipe smokers who I've never seen anybody dump the ash. I've just never seen it happen. Honey, let me be your salty dog. Good one, Michael. Poem is ever the contrarian. Pepe, thanks for asking. Everybody's fine. It's pretty much status quo from last week. No updates on the father-in-law or my brother, and my wife's doing okay. She actually called me today with a very funny tech question. Maybe I'll tell you that story. No, Christian, I do that with a new pipe, but he means knocking the ash off and then relighting. Backcountry pipe. Good to see you, Mark. Yes, great song, Michael. Sailor, I'm not going to read that. I don't want to start a fight, but I kind of agree with you. Or people that do it because they get enjoyment from it, and that's fine too. Neil Day, from what Doug said, they just closed up shop. Look at Phil talking the French there. John Hurt. Okay, Christian. I think you guys think I have a much better memory than I do. If there was a question earlier that John Hurt could be the answer to, knowing Christian, that is the answer. Have I ever seen a stuffed zucchini flower? Is that what you're asking, Pepe? No, I haven't. Gary's been smoking a pipe for 52 years. That is incredible. I almost combined the word incredible and accomplishment into one new word. Uh-oh, geek alert incoming. Yeah, Phil, that's a good point. Gary, if you've been smoking a pipe for that long, you might want to give it a rest. It's like me telling my doctor I only smoke one pipe every 2 days. Okay, Doug, I'm going to make you feel old here. Doug Smart started, Doug Smarted, my goodness. Doug started smoking a pipe when I was 2 years old. Yes, I actually have probably about 6 ounces of their honeydew vanilla blend still. So I'm glad I've got that. But it's lasted me for a very long time because I smoke it like 3 times a year. I do enjoy gardening, Pepe, but we've had terrible problems with zucchini, which I know sounds ridiculous because most people tend to get more zucchini than know what to do with. But interestingly enough, we do get a lot of zucchini flowers, just not zucchini. So maybe I'll grow them next year and try to eat the flowers. I was 1 year old when Michael started. Oh my goodness, has been starting six. Well, a lot of you guys have got a lot of. I'm not calling you old. I'm saying you've got a lot of experience, and I appreciate that. That's right, Doug. I remember that phone call, and it was kind of you to do that. My voice would be a lot deeper now if I had started it too. Phil's daring me. I'm gonna put my glasses on for this. The teal's teeth tells by the Thethor, which I guess is somebody with no teeth saying she sells seashells by the seashore. I tried to. Hey, 2008 was a while back, Mark. Don't 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 go getting all high on yourself, young whippersnapper. Yeah, I am a kid. I feel like a kid sometimes, Michael, but I'm sure we all do. Usually when my wife's talking to me, she has the ability to do that. Papa Bear, good evening. And Patrick Grant, I don't think I saw you earlier. Good to see you, buddy. See, it's so easy to make Phil happy. You just read a tongue twister and there you go, Ron. That's one way to look at it. Oh, Doug, let's not cast aspersions upon she. Yeah, those are all the things that get you, aren't they, Phil? Got a CB radio license the same year, Michael. That's cool. No, I'm not doing any more tongue twisters tonight, Doug. Toy boat's a good one. The two that always got me. I have trouble even saying them once, and they're surprisingly simple. It's red leather, yellow leather. That's a really tough one to say multiple times fast. And what was the other one? Unique New York. I sometimes can't get that out just once. Well, that's both the best and worst part of old age, Christian, because yes, it doesn't last long, but at the same time, you finally hit a point in your life where you understand things, you've got the wisdom to do the right things, and you're ready to enjoy it. And it's kind of sad that that doesn't last so long. But my plan to deal with that is simply just to not die. I don't know why everybody does it. I'm just not going to do it. I swore it off. Gave it up for Lent. I should hope people could say Coca-Cola without their lips touching me. Papa Bear, I'm not even going to try to say that once because I know what's going to happen. So you guys want to hear the story about my wife's IT dilemma today? Well, that's a bit of a challenge, Christian, but I applaud you for trying. Oh, I was wondering why. Yeah, I forgot I asked you if I should tell the story. Thank you. I will. So I'm working today. I worked from home today, and I was trying to figure something out, and it was one of these things that I had to really focus on it. And I didn't finish. I actually couldn't crack this one. It was a programming thing, and I'll get it next week. It'll be fine. It's best to just let those things drop sometimes after you've tried for a couple of hours. Anyway, I'm in the middle of this, really focused in on this thing, and I've turned off the notifications, the messenger and the email and everything so that I can just focus on this. And the phone rings, and it's my wife. So of course I answer it because, um, and Big Dave, you can't be tardy here. That didn't sound good. Anyway, so my my wife calls me, and I say hello because that's the way I was taught to answer a phone. And I expect on the other end you're going to hear something like, "Hi, how are you doing?" And what I hear is, I plugged in the Chromecast and now it's just sitting there. Okay. So to give you a little bit of background, we have the Chromecast here, the little Google Chromecast HD thing, which is wonderful. I love it. And I put one upstairs. I put one up in our bedroom. I don't watch TV in the bedroom, but my wife does, and it gives her something to do when I'm watching Svengoolie or something like that. And I also put one down here. So when she went to Pittsburgh, she likes to watch a lot of YouTube. Not me, but uh, when she went to Pittsburgh, I said, take the one in the bedroom with you, and then you can plug it into the TV, and it's ready to go. You don't have to do anything special. It'll just turn on. So she did that, and after a month, she finally got around to plugging it in today. And she was calling me because it was just sitting there. So I said, okay, when you say you plugged it in, what do you mean? Because it's got two plugs. One is the HDMI port, one goes into an electrical outlet, and you got to ask these questions. I've been guilty of doing stupider stuff. And she said, well, I plugged it into the wall and I plugged it into the back of the television. I said, did you plug it into the HDMI port? I think so. Did it fit? Yes, it was the only hole that it would fit in. Believe me, this is not as funny as it could be, because if she had it plugged into something else, that'd be a great story. But no, she actually did have it in the HDMI port. Okay, so when you say it's just sitting there, what does that mean? And at this point, she's now annoyed because she wanted to work, it didn't work. She called me because it didn't work, but she didn't really want me to fix it. She just wanted to tell me that everything is crap and the thing I bought doesn't work, and that's it. So at this point, what she says is, I don't even care. I'm done. I don't care. And I said, no, you're not allowed to do that. You interrupted me. You broke my concentration. You've given me this information, and I have to fix this. So I actually got mad at her, and she wound up apologizing because she does this a lot. She like blows up about a problem, and then as soon as I try to fix it, she walks away from it. And I'm there with, what am I going to do? I don't need the thing to work. So hey, Couch. Oh, sorry to hear that, buddy. I hope you get that fixed soon. Just trying to catch up here. Oh, I would have loved it if they chose Ahoy, Doug. That would have been great. They're winding down the Chromecast line. They got to replace it with something, though, Chris, because it's huge for them. I mean, they're making tons of money off YouTube Premium and everything, so they got to replace it with something. Yes, Michael, they started their Friday night show back up again. Very exciting. Anyway, before you all forget what I'm talking about. So she apologizes and says, okay, we'll figure this out. I said, so what does it mean it's just sitting there? And she says, well, the screen comes up and it's got this thing about choose this setting and stuff. And she's describing the screen to me. And I realize what she's done is she's somehow gone into one of the setting screens, which she doesn't do. She just presses the YouTube button. And I said, okay, dear, look at the remote control. Do you see the home button? She said, yes, I know where the home button is. Press it. And this is what I hear. Okay, oh. The only problem was that she somehow went onto a different screen and didn't understand that that was something that you could do, and that she therefore assumed that it was broken. So yeah, that was how my Friday went. I didn't gloat. I just said, okay, I'm glad it's working for you. TV skating figure eights around the room all fixed. I'd be happy with that. Heaven no. I really like Ahoy. That would be great. What is it in Italy? It's pronto, which I think means hurry up, which I always thought was kind of rude. Yes, Chris, I have seen It's Not About the Nail, and I think that is one of the most wonderful videos ever made. If you guys haven't seen that, go look up It's Not About the Nail, because it perfectly captures the difference between the way men see the world and the way women see the world. And if you're a guy and you got a woman in your life, you got to understand that. You're right, Christian. Yes, and it's I sometimes actually will ask her, "Is this something you want me to fix, or is it just something you want to complain about?" And she's learned to not be mad at that, which is great because I really don't know. Ian, she occasionally tunes in for the live stream, so she might actually be watching, but it's okay. She knows. She was there. She knows the story. Nah, she'd be okay with it, Michael. That's a good point, Phil. That would be rude in Italy. Yeah, pronto isn't rude. Yes, when you're a hammer, everything does indeed look like a nail. Moin? I don't even know what that means, Ian. I thought they said hello or something like that. How, I can't pronounce it. Hello. Hey, Steve, good to see you. Baby Wi-Fi, gotcha. Yes, has been. I've used those words often. I knew you meant bad, Steve. I just thought baby Wi-Fi was funnier. Hello. Thank you, Bill. Hey, Phil, I've been wondering if I should tell that joke I sent you about the woman who stands up at church to talk about her husband's accident and recovery. I don't know if I could tell it as well as it was told, though. That is the difference, Papa Bear. But you got one in both cases, right? Yeah, Chinese, it's an interesting language in a lot of ways because the way that emotions are described in the language is very different from the way we describe them. And that, I think, comes across as rudeness in a lot of cases. I've been interested in this for a long time. I've probably talked about it before, but language really does kind of shape the way we see the world. And I think Chinese is a really excellent example of it, where they don't, in Chinese, they don't say, I'm happy and you're happy. They'll say, we're here and there's happiness. So the happiness is something separate from the person. And the same is true of love. They don't love someone. There is love when they're together with that person. It's just interesting. It changes the way you see the world. Yeah, back burner effect's a real thing, Christian. Uh, Definitely true. And your brain does work while you're sleeping. Because I've woken up many times with an answer. That's a lot of chins, Big Dave. So I'll tell the joke because as somebody pointed out, I have to now. Doug, yeah, uh, and Phil said it was worth trying. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this off because it's really it's a little bit long, but so the church service and it comes to the end of the service and the pastor says, would anyone like to come up and share anything? And this young woman stands up and she walks up to the lectern and turns and faces the crowd and she says, I want to tell you all about what happened to my husband, Fred. Um, Fred was in a significant accident, serious accident. And in the accident, his scrotum was crushed. And you hear like this gasp go through the crowd and you see all the men in the pews like visibly tighten up. And she says, it was really terrible. And for a long time, we didn't know if he was going to pull through. But, there was a lot of prayers. I know I asked a lot of you to pray for Fred. And the doctors did a lot of work on him. And, they worked on him for a long time. And they didn't know if they were going to be able to save him. And, now the men are really getting uncomfortable thinking about this. And she says, but, in the end, they thought they could save his life, but they didn't know if they would be able to save his scrotum. And now you see guys like, really starting to get uncomfortable. And he says, but it was a miracle. They had to use steel plate and wires and screws, but they were able to actually put it all back together again. And he's going to be fine. And now you got guys like crossing their legs and starting to sweat and visibly looking like they're in pain. And so I just want to thank you all for your support and prayers, and thank you for helping me keep Fred. And she goes to sit down, and as she's going to sit down, this man stands up and begins slowly, sort of limping up to the podium, the lectern. And he gets up to the front of the church, and he turns to the congregation and he says, "Hello, I'm Fred. And I told my wife 5 times, it's sternum, not scrotum." Hopefully that worked. I'll do it again if it didn't. So that's my he wasn't Chinese, Cole. Big Dave, I wind up dreaming about work a lot, especially if I'm working too much, and then you wake up in the morning and you're just tired. Feels like you've actually done your time already. That's interesting. I didn't know that about the European dial tone, Michael. That's really interesting. A C minus. I tried, Doug. I tried. I mean, it was no duck walks into the bar joke, but All right, Pepe, great seeing you, buddy. Have a good evening. I can tell some of you didn't appreciate the joke, so I will not tell any more this evening, I promise. Not much of a difference, yeah. Oh, if I dream about work after I'm retired, that's going to be really sad. Although I'm not so sure I'm going to do full retirement. I don't know if that would agree with me. Don't start that, Big Dave. That is one of my favorite jokes, and I cannot tell it here. Oh, I'm sorry, Doug. But I'm glad you liked the delivery. Maybe if I find a better joke next time. Hey, Paragon, that makes it a sort of cathartic dream. Good stuff. Oh, that's a terrible version of the joke, Christian. Phil, that happens to me a lot. I'll wake up like at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and just have this. First off, I'll be wide awake, and I'll have this burning desire to do something. Uh, it might be work down here. It might be actual, work that I get paid for. It might be something around the house. But I'll just like, I should do this now. And I'll say, no, it's too late, and I go back to sleep, and then I never do that thing. It's just never as urgent when I wake up. Okay, Gary, I won't tell any more jokes. I get it. I'm glad you liked it, Ron. Yeah, it is the kind of joke we'd tell in school, Dave. Yep. There you go, Ian. You're halfway there. Clown car. It's the joke, mushroom leg. They don't want to click the like button after that. Oh, Michael, that's no way to convince me to do a joke show. Let's do a joke show again, hopefully with a lot better jokes than you just told. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm seeing Gary's comment about being busier than ever, and other folks saying don't ever stop working, don't ever retire. I don't. I'm not going to be one of those guys that just sits around all day or goes sits on a beach or something. I can't do that. It drives me crazy. I'll do things. I don't know if it'll be an actual job or if it'll be hobbies or what, but I'll keep active for sure. And that's one of the reasons I've been getting more and more interested in things like C programming, or C++, which I have no business doing, but at least it keeps my mind active and it gives me something to do, to achieve. I like solving puzzles. I like learning new things. So that's the kind of thing I go for. Other people might pick up a musical instrument or something. Of course, it's harder when you're older, but yeah, sometimes that happens too, Phil. The epiphany is you don't remember the epiphany. The big cane will come in and pull me away. Yeah, it's okay, mushroom leg. I'm actually gonna have a bowl of that now. Uh, Mushroom legs referring to Dunbar, the tobacco of the month. I've had quite a bit of this, and yeah, it's good. I mean, good quality tobacco. I like it. I like the Virginias. The Perique is all but missing in action for me, so that I don't particularly like. But I'm gonna load the. And by the way, this has. I don't know if it's gonna pick up on the camera, but this does have a fair amount of white mold on it. You might call it sugar or bloom, but it's mold. I just like telling people that. I'm going to put this in. This is a J Mouton. This is one of the twin pipes that I have with Couch. And that is I believe that's whale spine that he's used as the stem adornment there. Pretty cool. I wish it had a bigger bowl. It's got very thick walls though. Oh, Brian, no. If you can find a link to the ice cream joke, Dave, feel free to put it in the chat. And if people want to go see it, um, I'll warn you, it's not a family friendly joke, but it's very funny. Doug, I would imagine humor is hard to do in your sleep. Backcountry Pipes got G&H #7 Broken Flake going. Nice. Whale spine. Is that what I said, Phil? I don't remember now. I don't actually know how old this is, Christian. Tony in Rhode Island sent it to me 3 or 4 years ago. So it's at least 4 or 5 years old, but it could be significantly older than that. I really don't know. He didn't put a date on it. I don't think I saw him pop up tonight. I did not say camel spine, did I, Phil? Now I'm gonna have to watch the live stream over again to find out if I said camel spine. I meant whale spine. I don't know where I would have gotten camel spine from it. From. That's true, Gary. I always feel that the bowl's too small as I get towards the end. But now this one is just, I wish it was a little bit less narrow. I mean, it's got very nice thick walls, but I would have made, well, I would like a wider bowl, more of a pot than a, but this does do a nice job with Virginias. That's one of the things that I don't really buy a lot of the this smokes better in that pipe and all that, but just as a general rule, it seems to me that thin, tall bowls, or just thin bowls in general, favor Virginias, and wider bowls like pots favor Burleys. Flint Hill, you made me laugh twice with that. So he says better than cockroach spine, which that's definitely true. But I read it in order with what Piper on the 45 wrote. So Piper on the 45 wrote, "What is a vegan with diarrhea?" And then I read Flint Hill's response as if it was the answer to the joke, better than cockroach spine. Salad shooter. Oh, God. Flint Hill. Yeah, they do burn faster, Doug. That's definitely true. Okay, Phil says it's at the 45 minute mark. I will go back and watch after this because if I said camel spine, I don't know where my mind was. Oh, don't bring that up, Flint Hill. Although, did you see she picked up a big endorsement this week from Vladimir Putin? It's actually true. I'm not making that up. I wish that was a joke. Flint Hill heard whale spine. You know, it's interesting though because people are always looking for new things to include in adornments like that. So maybe camel spine is something to look into. I don't know. See, Phil, I might have just given you a new pipeline there, and you pipeline line of pipes. The old timer pipes were very small, Michael. That's true. Phil, all I'm saying is if you start selling camel spine adorned pipes, I get 10%. They're used for knife handles, really. That is interesting. Yeah, indeed, Doug. That's not going to excite anybody. I mean, I don't want to get into politics. I try to avoid it, but it's a fascinating time right now. And watching this as it develops over the past couple of weeks, I mean, it's incredible to see that whole campaign is just disintegrating. I mean, I can't believe how, like, every day it's something completely different that you think, nah, this can't be real, and then it turns out to be real. Flint Hill, you might want to further qualify that you want the tusk removed from the naturally dead narwhal. That would be a really heavy pipe otherwise. Doug's getting lyrical. Don't make me dig up the Doug Owen song clip. I don't know if I have that one linked. You're right, Cole. You're right. But you just think that, I don't know, at some level, you've got so many people working on this and there's so much money and effort being put into it that somehow it would, I don't know, somehow some of this would be stopped. And it just doesn't seem to. From what I understand, Doug, Trump is ahead right now in PA, which, Republicans tend to underpoll in the state. So that's, pretty big. What amazed me is he's ahead in Michigan. And it might still be a small percentage, but, Michigan's very liberal. And, Biden and Clinton had double-digit leads at this point in Michigan. So, yeah. Well, that's the thing, Phil. Either there's a case of gross incompetence going on, or there's something we don't know. And these days, I both don't believe anything and am willing to believe anything. Place in Boca Toro, Panama? Is that where you're headed, sailor? By the way, I didn't mention this, speaking of Pennsylvania. The Eagles are playing tonight in Brazil, which I don't quite understand. Uh, so I'm missing the Eagles season opener to be with you guys, which is fine because it's still baseball season. I don't normally pay much attention to football until baseball's over. Yeah, well, if that's something we don't know goes the way it did last time, I think there's going to be some real problems, and I'm worried about that. Nah, Ian, we just go wherever the conversation takes us. Nobody's getting nasty here. All right, Christian, thanks for joining us, buddy. Say hello to the better half for me. Michael, I would not be at all surprised to see them fade, but right now, I mean, it's just unbelievable. I missed that game last night, Cole. I had intended to watch it, but I wound up going out to dinner with a friend, and by the time I got home, I was just tired. Backcountry pipe, I wake up every morning and thank God for that. I don't know, we're much better off. But yeah, you guys got some problem. Ron has got another cob from 1925-ish Phoenix Pipe Company, the Dewey. Very cool. Bone bit and a fancy gold bead band. Wow. Sounds really neat. With 3 fryers. Good blend. Problem is, Doug, I'm referring to your comment about the recommendations there, is that it's more complicated than that. I understand why you're saying that, and I agree with you. But you gotta think about it this way. You know, we've got at least 80% of the vote is pre-decided, right? I mean, there are people who are not under any circumstances going to vote for that other candidate, no matter what happens. So you're not going to win them over, no matter how much you talk about the actual um, things that people think are important. You're not going to change those people's minds. But the danger is that those people might not vote. That's what you got to worry about. So if you're talking about 80% of your constituency, the people that are potentially going to vote for you not being enthused about going out and voting, that's a big problem. The kind of things you're saying not to talk about are the things that get those people excited on that side. So if they just stop that, they run the risk of not having a good turnout. So it's more complicated. They gotta keep them energized, and at the same time court that 15 to 20% that might go either way. Um, it's it's a strange situation, and very difficult line to walk. And that's true on both sides. Uh, the whole abortion rights thing is what you got going on the other side. That's energizing their base, and they're going to keep hammering on that. Uh, it's just the weird world we live in now. That must have hurt, Doug. And you're right about that, has been. Never overestimate the intelligence of the people. Yeah, the RFK Jr. thing is another really interesting. I mean, again, I don't like talking about politics, but this stuff is just so interesting. Uh, it when's the last time you've seen something like that happen, where an independent candidate steps out and then goes and endorses a member of the other party, the party that he left to become independent. And then, his name and the political dynasty that he stands for. I mean, this is interesting stuff, regardless of where you sit politically. It's just a really fascinating time. Okay, Piper on the 45. I can stick with you till then. All right, Cole. Thanks for joining us, buddy. You take care. Big Dave, I agree with you, and it should be a big deal. But the weird thing is, I talk to people who don't think it's a problem, and I don't understand how that's possible. But you'll say things like, well, there's all these immigrants come in, and they'll say, no, that's not true. It's way down now. So it's dropped dramatically under Biden. Where are you getting your information? Um, there's no crime. It's just people that are seeking asylum. They're not criminals, it. And then you see the pictures of the border towns and the devastation there. 14-1. Cool, Piper on the porch. Phillies do know how to beat them up. I just hope they can maintain that for a little bit longer this year. Yeah, Big Dave, if you can find it, he put out an ad the other day about his dad and uncle that was almost immediately banned everywhere, but it was a really good ad. And he basically, well, I don't want to get into it, but it was really well done. And if you can find it, see if you can find it. I think it was titled Freedom, and yeah, it was really well done. Well, Sailor, I don't know if independent means what it used to mean. I think independent now just means that you're in that 15 to 20%, and you're not going to vote just because your party's name is next to the person. I think that's all it means. I don't think they're in any way saying they don't understand the situation, or they I think it's just a matter of being open-minded. Eagles 7, Packers 6. Thank you, Piper said. Appreciate the update. Yeah, I know, Dave. I know a lot of people that are saying, talking about the fentanyl is a particular problem. And then, what's going on in Colorado is, and it's not being covered. You disagree, Sailor? I'm not sure what we're disagreeing on. I mean, if somebody says they're independent, it just means that they're not going to vote for a particular party. They're going to vote for the best person. So I'm not sure if you disagree with my definition of independent, or if you disagree that they're going to vote for the best person. That's a shocking statistic, Gary. Oh, I didn't know that, Doug. That's very cool. Best person based on what policies they support, what their plans are for the country, what how they're going to vote on various issues. I mean, I don't get the confusion there, Seller. Oh, that's really tough, Couch. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's a problem. I mean, it is so potent that it's essentially a biological weapon, to be honest. Oh, I probably just got us banned from YouTube saying that. Oh well. This one wasn't going well anyway, was it? Well, Sarah, I think we might be arguing over semantics here. I mean, if I say I'm in the, so I don't think so. I've been a Republican my entire voting life, and I do not think that the majority of Republicans agree with me anymore. And I think there's a lot of Democrats that feel that way about their party. Uh, I watched and recently have had them handed to me some of the old speeches that both Bobby Kennedy and John F. Kennedy gave, and you watch them, and I think, well, that's a lot of stuff that I believe in, and they were Democrats, so that's how much things have changed. Um, so I don't think it's that they aren't really independent. It's just that their party is not aligned with them, and they're not just going to blindly vote for that party. That's all it means. Well, Big Dave, I've had people tell me that the Venezuelan gang story was fabricated and isn't real. And I know that's not true because I saw local news coverage of it, multiple sources. But yet there's people that just believe that. I don't know where they heard it. Somebody told them or they saw it on Facebook or whatever. And it is lonely in the middle. But the truth is, the middle's where I think a lot of the answers lie. Feeling over facts is dangerous. Yes. But uncertain facts are equally dangerous, Paragon Piper. And that's a big problem because it's so hard to get the truth anymore. And I think it's okay that, in fact, I think it's essential that we don't all agree, that we're not all aligned, that we're not all lockstep with one another. I think that's healthy. And I think you need a mix. I don't think we want one side dominating, one side controlling. I think we want a mix. But we also want an educated populace that has access to the facts. that they can think for themselves. You've seen my bumper sticker, Couch. So have any of you seen this phone app called, I think it's I don't know if it's a website too, called Ground News? I think it's called Ground News or maybe Ground Truth News, where they supposedly analyze multiple sources and they'll actually show you side by side the headlines on a particular topic from sources that are rated more liberal, sources that are rated more conservative, and they'll give them scores on both sides so that you can kind of find the middle. I haven't tried it yet, but I've been intrigued by it. You have it, Ian? How is it? It is difficult, Phil, because even there's been recent examples of websites being changed. You know, information that was put out years ago, and you go back to look for it, and it's been changed. And people have screenshots of it, so it has been changed. It's not just that you remember it differently. I would vote for Captain Spaulding, Brian. Oh, that's not good, Piper said. Oh, so they actually show you who owns the news services. That's interesting. That would be very useful. The other thing I don't like is when people have, single. You got to choose the person that is best suited for the job. And sometimes the person best suited for the job is best suited in 10 out of 12 areas. But that's better than the person that's only suited in 2 out of 12 areas, but they're the 2 areas that you think are important. And that's hard for a lot of people. And I admit it's hard for me too. But that's something that I think we need to do a better job of struggling with. Because very often there'll be that one thing that swings us one way or the other. Gotcha. I think we should all chip in and buy a small island and just move Michael Malice there and let him rule us. How does that sound? We do need that calming force, don't we, Husband? And that's part of the reason I really don't like talking about these things, and I apologize that I have, but you know, it's like I said, it's just so interesting right now, and I think it tells us a lot about ourselves. Don't even think about who we're talking about, who which side you're on or anything else, but think about how you're looking at it, and really be critical of yourself. Am I making that decision just because that's what I've believed is right for the past 15 years, or am I making that decision because I've really looked at the issues and I've decided this is the right thing to do? Sergio Menendez passed away. Oh no, 82, not 83. Not bad, Patrick. Thanks for letting us know. And Brian May of Queen fame suffered a mild stroke recently. He's still able to play the guitar. Ann Wilson of Heart had surgery to remove a cancerous tumor. Patrick's giving us all the medical updates from the world of music. Well, Paragon, we were waiting for Steph to win that lottery, and if she won it, she'd run away with the money and not told us. JB is the life. It would absolutely have to be suitable for growing tobacco. That's right, Carrie. We would be Gilligan's Island castaways. Uh, my goodness, it's already got 8 minutes to go. I was going to pack another pipe, but now we only got 8 minutes to go. Yes, has been. That's one way of knowing your age, but that's been true for me for a long time because I tend to like older music. I'm not apologizing for the subjects, Sailor. I'm apologizing that this live stream is just not usually about such things, and I try to keep it not about such things. But I agree with you; it's incredibly important, and yes, there's a lot that turns on this. So I'm not apologizing for my views or for any of the things I said, but just for derailing the live stream in a direction that we don't normally go. But you're absolutely right. More like cast-offs, yes. We would be. We'd be Gilligan's cast-offs. If I'm a little worried about overcrowding on the island. I mean, obviously, we all have a spot, and there's going to be a lot of other people come. But if we get Marianne to go, that's probably going to draw in too many people. So we got to be careful. If Marianne signs up, we're not going to tell anybody. Well, Paragon, you know the old Chinese curse, which is "May you live in interesting times." We definitely see that. Ah, Big Dave sat up when I said Marianne. Paragon, I don't think that's going to be allowed. Piper still got pipes to clean. I'm sorry, buddy, but I got up early today. Island's first lady has to wear a bag. Yeah, yeah. I know Ian, but she'll always live on in our hearts. And we do have the reruns, Big Dave. Yep. And if we do have a little local theater on the island, it will show Gilligan's Island reruns. Three Stooges, Honeymooners, Looney Tunes. We're not going to have any women on the island, are we? Which might be arguably a good thing. I'm sorry, I'm just not going along with the whole dig her up and make her a marionette thing. That's just too creepy. Funny, but creepy. 2-year-old autumn evening. Wow. I do enjoy autumn evening. Maybe I'll have some tomorrow. I haven't had any in quite a while. Yes, there would be Bugs Bunny for sure. XJ can be. You're just saying that because XJ's not here, Couch. If he was here, you wouldn't say that because he'd send the chicken after you. Maybe Marianne has a granddaughter. Good point, Phil. I like that score better, Piper said. Dobie Gillis cannot run for island president. I agree. Would we have to have a president? I mean, honestly, if you just so if the island was composed of a group like we had at the pipe show last month, I honestly think we could self-govern. I mean, as long as there weren't issues with, supply, food and whatnot, I don't think there'd be very much arguing. We just want to smoke our pipes and be left alone. We would need a lot of alcohol and coffee and food. Ah, yes, pull it out in autumn, of course. Of course, Move Piper. Oh, there you go, Paragon Piper. If we have bugs in the dress, that changes things, doesn't it? Prime Minister Dobie Gillesian. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, we'd do something like that, Paragon. I don't know if we could get the Excalibur Stone thing going, but we'd have some. You know what we'd do? We'd have a slow smoke competition. Whoever wins the slow smoke, we'd have an annual slow smoke competition, and whoever wins that gets to be president for the year. I don't remember Match's video about Autumn Evening, Backcountry Pipe. I'm assuming he didn't like it. Quite a polarizing blend, which surprises me. Mushroom Legs finally out of work. H&H Key and the Bamboo Dunhill. Cool. Yeah, we would need a lot of Zippo fluid and wicks. That's true, Michael. We would all be hobbits. You're right, JB. That's exactly what it would be. We'd just be a colony of hobbits. Ian, that might make more sense. Yeah, Doug, that was what Ian was saying too. The loser gets to be president. Yep, I think that makes a lot more sense. And in that case, we should probably do like a 4-year term. 3 blends you have to have on the island. Wow. Well, hopefully we wouldn't be limited to 3, and one of them better be Haunted Bookshop. If as long as we have Haunted Bookshop, you guys can pick the other 2. Oh, we actually did enjoy it. Okay. Okay, I don't remember that. Oh, that's interesting, Ron. I had not heard about that. Isn't it funny that the censorship was so strict back then that a woman appearing wrapped in a blanket could be interpreted as someone sleeping nude and therefore would have to be censored? And now I wouldn't be at all surprised to just see her walk out nude. It's just we've changed a lot in not that much time. All right, Ian Haywood, there will be no 1Q on the island. Uh, what is CBRM? I'm sorry, I'm not doing too well with acronyms tonight. Doug wants all three to be capstan. One of them can be capstan, Doug. Ah, low country natural. Yeah, that's another good one. Lord of the Flies. Yes, Paragon. Lakelands would do that. Yeah, Matches loved that McBaron plum cake. Boy, that's one I just cannot smoke. I know a lot of guys like it, but a lot of key in that just is too much for me. Cult Blood Red Moon. Okay. I guess we gotta have something like that. I know it's tough to think about, Steve. I mean, I could go with just one. I'd probably be pretty happy, but I'd like to know that there's a couple others that I could use to break the monotony. I don't know if there'd be Mixture 79, Big Dave. I don't know. See, this is the problem. If we had to limit ourselves to just any number of tobaccos, we'd wind up getting in a big fight over that, and there'd be like the tobacco wars, and my team would be carrying this haunted bookshop banner, and Big Dave would be out there waving the Mixture 79 flag. It would be a mess. Oh, only one pipe. That's a good one, Doug. Mine would be a billiard, I know that. Few barrels of Perique. Maybe that's the way we should go. We should go with just the blending tobaccos. You can blend up your own. Ah, Piper said, you ruined my mood again. Sounds like it's a good game. Condor, yes. That would be nice if we could have an unlimited supply. It's probably not going to happen, but we can have some. Anyway, we have gone over. I am tired. And boy, what a wild ride this has been. We've gone from tongue twisters through political landscapes to owning our own island. As long as there's copious amounts of thick white smoke, Big Dave's happy. Paragon, you can be the official island blender. That's true, Michael. I think we all can adjust it to whatever blend is available. You're not spoiling it for me, Piper said. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm not going to watch the whole. I have a lot of trouble watching games after the fact. Doug, don't get me started on the duck. No, no Mount Doom. Absolutely not. So let's. Oh, this video was flagged about an hour ago, Gary. It's so. Please talk about whatever you want because this is doomed. Which is fine. I don't care. Let's plan to do a stupid joke night because last year we missed it, and the problem is if we don't do it soon, it's gonna run into October, and then we got Halloween and all that kind of stuff. So let's see if I can get my calendar up here without shutting down the stream. So the 27th, ooh. Okay, here's the problem. So my anniversary is the 26th. I have no idea what I'm doing that weekend. So I may or may not be doing a live stream on the 27th, which would be the tobacco of the month choice. So as long as if we're okay with putting off the tobacco of the month until the 4th, let's plan to do stupid joke night on the 20th. So not next week, but the week following. How does that sound? So we got 2 weeks to collect up the jokes. You guys can begin sending them. Just send them to my email. Keep them simple, because all I'm going to do is just copy and paste into a big Word document, and then I'll print them all out, and we'll have stupid joke night on the 20th of September. Sound good? Don't answer, because I'm not going to wait for the answer. That's what we're going to do. So start collecting your jokes, send them on to me, and I will compile them all, and we will have a big old time. Bring extra alcohol that night. Thank you, folks. This has been wonderful. I've enjoyed it. We went places we don't normally go, but I think it was good stuff, and I'm glad that we can talk about such things, because they're important, and it's good to know that I've got friends that I can share this stuff with. So thank you for that, and thank you for disagreeing with me sometimes, because that helps me. So with that, we will finish this up. I will be back on Sunday with a thing. I'm not exactly sure what the topic is Sunday, but I got something planned. I just have 2 things planned, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to do. But we'll talk about something interesting on Sunday, and we'll be back next Friday with another one of these things. So with that, my friends, have a fantastic Friday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and have a great week ahead. Take care, guys.